Hello, Formula One fans. I'll be honest with you, I'm not a F1 fan. I just like collecting small models. That's why my channel is called Small Model Collector. And so if it teaches me a little bit about the F1 world, you know, all the better. So this model is made by, well, it could be made by IXO Models, but it's branded mostly as a Tarmac Works Global64. And I like this new packaging they have, where it's not a giant blister pack that is just polluting your body. So this is number 3. It's driven by Daniel Ricciardo. Ricciardo? I don't know how the Italians would pronounce that. I'm assuming this person is Italian. I don't know. It is officially licensed by Gulf itself and probably McLaren, I would assume. Yeah, there it is. Okay, so, ooh, this is made in Bangladesh. Ooh, we'll have to see if this is good. I say that because Mini GT used to have a factory there and they shut it down because their models came out with horrible paint. Alright, just a little graphic there on the side. Yes. Wow, this plastic's a lot harder than I thought it would be. Uh-oh. My cat wants out of the room. It's gonna meow soon. Now there's tape here that I didn't see. Okay. So, knowing nothing about F1, I had to read Wikipedia, so this could all be wrong. But the MCL35 design had a greater emphasis on the outwash effect, moving air around the tire rather than over it, and it has a higher rear rake. I don't know. I understand the first part, you know, instead of moving the air over, they're trying to move it around the sides. But the rear rake, I mean, it's, I don't know. Okay, quality, ooh, there's a 10th inspector at Tarmac Works' factory, wherever that is, most likely in China. I'm going to have to assume views, or views, is some sort of tobacco or smoking related thing. Although nowadays, maybe it's like vaping. Is this a vaping company? What do you guys think about that? Vaping versus smoking good old cigarettes. I'm sure neither are good, but I almost feel like it'd probably be better for you to smoke tobacco than put polypropyl glycol or whatever that stuff is they're putting into vaping things. I am not remotely a doctor, so do not take any medical advice from me or you'll end up dead tomorrow. I might put these on later on. We'll have to see if I'm motivated or not. Okay, so let's see. Now this is powered by a 1.6 liter V6 turbo, and I couldn't find the 2021 specs, but the 2020 said 740 horsepower. And then it's a hybrid, so it has an electric motor of around 160 horsepower, and that gets charged by 2 methods: a kinetic recovery system on the crankshaft, and also a heat regenerator. It takes the heat from the turbocharger and turns that into electricity. So I think it's cool that they're testing out these funky little methods that will eventually trickle down to regular cars you buy at a dealership. One would hope. Alright, let's see here. That's one top promotional shot. I found this side promotional shot, so let's go back to this. You'll notice the View sponsorship there. I gotta say, it actually does look like the photographs. Correct me if I'm wrong, but how it tapers there, this whole thing, it's hard to hold here. Hold on. Seems alright. Okay. That's just a funky front view, I think. And the rear view, couldn't really find. There was some sort of diffuser changes, so I had no clue what kind of image I should pull up for the rear, so this one barely shows the diffuser anyways. Alright, well I gotta say I've never held or seen an F1 car look like this. This is well beyond what I'm used to seeing because I haven't watched an F1 race in years. Starting with the wheels, you do have these nice rounded wheels and they have nice printing on them, these Pirelli, is that P0 or F0? Probably P, right? And I'll zoom in on this wheel. Is it actually hollow? It is not. It's blanked off, which I can totally understand. Well, I gotta say, it's actually not good. Look at the lip of this thing. It got, like, ground off or something. The rear one's fine. And you'll notice the rear is blanked off as well, but it has like a 5-spoke pattern in there. Let me get the flashlight because it's really hard to tell. Yeah, there you go. So yeah, so the front's totally different from a. Yeah, now that I'm looking for it, it is noticeable even off camera. All right, well, let's continue on. So we got this plastic base, it seems, and it's actually got some air passing through it, and it does have branding for IXO and Tarmac Works, and it tells you what the car is, so that's cool. It's press fit together, and then those are melt marks, probably for something else on top, this whole rear wing, I think. Oh, it's actually got 4 rivets, so this is probably riveting on the plastic front wings. Alright, so it's running slicks, of course. It's quite accurate. Alright, boy, this side, it's like a matte finish. It's not glossy. This isn't glossy at all. And then it's a Gulf livery, obviously, as we saw in the packaging, but you can see there, Dell Technologies. Sadly, that 3, not looking so sharp. Or is that on purpose? Oh, I wonder if there's an antenna there and it snapped off somehow. It almost looks like there's something there before. But, hold on. Yeah, I was just seeing if it's in there, but I don't see anything in there. There's nothing in the box. Hard to say as to why that looks so bad. But it does. Alright, this wing, pretty cool. I mean, I guess it looks close enough to the photos. Obviously, it's not going to pass air between such thin gaps, so I think it looks pretty good. It's plastic, of course. It's not painted, but I think this orange stuff is a decal. Possibly it's painted. I hope it's painted. I think it's painted, maybe. Can't say. More sponsorship here. I don't even know if this orange thing here is a decal or a tampo. I kind of feel like it's a tampo, but I could be mistaken. Boy, what's going on here? So the suspension arms, they're kind of molded into something here, covering up this axle, which is, I guess, acceptable. Because I feel if they actually molded real arms, they would break fairly easily. But the way this is done is just totally trapping it, like at the base there. I don't know, what do you guys think? Could it have been done better or not? Actually, I know it can be done better. We'll compare it to some other F1 models. I don't know, all sorts of weird air destructors and stuff like that. You'll notice the side pods are very narrow. So, where's the intake to the engine? Is it maybe there? In there? Or the radiators, I'm saying, I don't know. That's probably the intake to the engine. But usually, I'm just used to seeing radiators around here, but I don't see how that would happen. But maybe because the thing's only a 1.6 liter, it doesn't need giant radiators anymore. Okay, well, pods here, I think for like TV and telemetry or antennas of some sort. I'm going to have to assume these bumps might be mirrors on the real thing. Hard to say. Look at those photos, I can't tell. Yeah, I think these are supposed to be mirrors, but they're supposed to be suspended up. But obviously they couldn't do that on such a scale and for such a price. This little roll cage or whatever for the driver, it's pretty nice. It's a separate piece. And then I can see a little orange down there in the seat. Let me get the flashlight again because it's all black. I can see orange down on the floor there as well. I wonder if that is something that fell off. This is kind of a really basic steering wheel. Yeah, very basic. So I don't know what that orange is there. I don't know. I don't know if that's intentional or not. The one on the floor, at least. So that does make me think maybe it is a decal and it flaked off and it's sitting there at the bottom and down there. Alright, yeah. It's a funky diffuser, you know. Alright, let's get to this rear wing here. So this rear wing is plastic. It's kind of thick, but not as thick as the Hot Wheels. It seems relatively strong. I don't think that'll break off too easily. It does have printing for like the LED brake lights there. And camera fail. My camera's so close to the table that I always knock it around with my hand. Alright. So maybe that's like the dump for the turbo and possibly part of that kinetic recovery system. Please leave a comment. I'm sure other people actually follow F1 and you can teach us all. Husky chocolate. I've never heard of that. I almost want to try it now. That's how marketing works. Alright, so it's nice that you can see air passing here, you know, so that's realistic. So this must be the actual steel shaft holding the wheels together. So that's interesting that the rear is more realistic looking than the front. Right. Alright, not much else to talk about because I don't know anything about these things. All I can really say is it's a really long car. You know, it's, the proportion's so different from what I recall. I almost think the rear track is thinner than the front track as well. I don't know. Hold on, I'm gonna measure that. I didn't bother checking that on the internet, but let's see at least on the model. .4-ish. 30.3. 30.6. Could be an optical. I think it's an optical illusion. Kind of like the pictures. If you look at a bunch of stripes, and I've noticed if I've watched some of my own videos, and when they're spinning on the coaster, and when that changes to non-spinning, your eyes continue to see the video spinning. Tell me if you guys see that, or maybe I'm just hallucinating and I should go see a doctor. Okay, let's compare it to a few other models now. Alright, sadly there's a big gap in my collection. So the most modern F1 car I have prior to today was this Kyoshos of a Red Bull Racing RB5. I think this is from 2009. I think it may have actually won the championship. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is how I last remember F1 cars. Remember them looking swoopy like this, but these kind of proportions, which is clearly different from today's proportioning. Going back in time further, we have a 2007 of a Toyota F1 TP or TF107. So all these are going to be by Kyoshos. And if we're going back in time, I guess let's just do it this way. So 2006, we have a Super Aguri SA05. I don't know if that's the actual manufacturer. I think it is. Just not a successful one. And the very last one is from 2005. It is the McLaren MP4-20. So quite a gap in McLarens there in the years, but you'll see from the top view in particular, these all look relatively the same. The wheelbases, the overall proportioning, and yeah, so, but this is just a totally different car. Like, it's so much longer. Why? Someone please leave a comment. Why is that? Why did they make the cars bigger? So, alright, let's let that spin. So what I was saying is, when you watch this thing spin and then you change to a new scene, my eyes keep spinning, like the video spins for a few seconds. Alright, let's let this guy spin on its own. So, a lot of questions draw up in my mind, and hopefully some of you F1 experts, F1 followers, I know some of you other collectors, Silver64, hopefully you can chime in, let us know what the heck we're talking about here, and that'd be nice. Okay, well, if as long as some funky castings come out and they look different, like this, I'll probably buy them. I'm not buying these because I'm an F1 fan, I just like the evolution of automotive technology, so it's interesting to me. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you at the next race.